Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Stellar Alignment Collective. This is the place where astrology meets frequency. And I have my top 3 transits that I want you to be aware of for this upcoming week. One of them is the new moon in Scorpio, which is the sign of emotional intensity. So you're definitely going to want to hear my suggestions about how to navigate this energy. But first, let's jump into another transit that will be happening on Wednesday, November 19th. Mercury Retrograde will be at 29 degrees of Scorpio, opposing Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. So Mercury Retrograde will reach 29 degrees, and that's an anaretic degree. It's the final degree of Scorpio. And the 29th degree it's highly charged, and it brings unfinished business up to the surface. And when we add in Uranus, which is the planet of shocks, liberation, and disruption, also at 29 degrees, this creates an energy that can almost feel like a mental earthquake, and not destructive, but revealing and clarifying and liberating. This is where truth comes out, where surprising insights show up, and where anything built on unstable foundations gets exposed. So you can expect things like sudden realizations, unexpected conversations, financial surprises, or even impulsive communication and comments. You may feel a sense of mental restlessness, heightened intuition, impatience, or irritability, or the urge to break free from limitations. And this is a very shadow meets illumination energy. Scorpio digs deep, and Uranus breaks things loose. So let's talk about strategy. Here's how I want you to work with this energy in a productive way. I want you to remember to pause before reacting, because your first emotional response may not be based on accurate information. Number 2, remember to review your finances, any subscriptions that you have, and shared accounts. And that's because Scorpio rules shared resources. So there may be some things that you become aware of. Also, it's a great time to clear physical or emotional clutter. And that's because this is a fantastic transit for a detox or a purge. Also, remember, please, to ground your energy. I want you to walk outside, hold your crystals, and breathe deeply. And that's because Uranian energy can really overstimulate the nervous system. Here's what I want you to avoid. Please don't react impulsively to shocking news. I want you to remember to breathe before you speak. And it's not a great time to make major purchases or make major financial decisions. Also, let's try to avoid power struggles or giving emotional ultimatums. For those of you who are parents, if you have young children or teenagers, here's how you can support them. Now, younger children may feel overwhelmed or moody, so we want to keep routine simple and predictable if possible. To a certain extent, they may be forgetful or there may be emotional eruptions. So, parents, remember to repeat instructions gently, because misunderstandings are common during this time. And for teenagers, we need to watch out for impulsive decisions or emotional intensity. And we can encourage our teens to think before they speak or before they post anything online. And we can remind them also to slow down, especially while traveling or multitasking. So, this transit is ultimately a cosmic clearing. Mercury retrograde brings truth to the surface, and Uranus breaks the chains of old patterns. And together, they can help you to see what needs to change. And that can be emotionally, mentally, financially, or spiritually. So, if something cracks open this week, I don't want you to panic, because this is not punishment, okay? It's a breakthrough. This energy will help you to reset your mindset, your boundaries, your patterns, and your sense of stability. And when Mercury finally moves forward, you'll understand why this moment was necessary. And on Thursday, November 20th, we're diving into a deeply transformative and emotionally charged new moon that really carries the energy of surprising twists, okay? This new moon in Scorpio will be at 28 degrees, opposing Uranus at 28 degrees of Taurus. And Uranus can bring shocks, breakthroughs, and events that seemingly come out of nowhere, even though this is a new moon, and that's typically the time where we are planting seeds. This Scorpio energy, plus the involvement of Uranus, can really bring revelations and secrets to the surface and also provide sudden clarity. And that's because we're going to have Mercury cazimi, or in the heart of the sun, during the time of the new moon. So, divine guidance, insight, and intuitive downloads and personal realizations may come through very clearly. So, this new moon is going to be in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is the sign that rules deep, intense emotions, secrets and hidden motivations, power dynamics, purging, releasing, and emotional honesty, and themes around sex, death, and rebirth, shared resources and debt, taxes, and inheritance. So, Scorpio territory is like the underworld of the psyche. It's where we uncover what has been buried and what needs to be released so that we can evolve. And this new moon really is inviting us to start a new cycle in the areas of personal empowerment or emotional truth or trust and intimacy, healing trauma, or shedding old versions of ourselves. It's like a moment of inner rebirth. And Uranus at 28 degrees of Taurus will be sitting directly opposite this new moon. And Uranus might bring sudden change, shocks, or unexpected news or breakthroughs. Now, even though new moons are usually quiet, this one has an unstable electrical charge due to being opposite Uranus. So I want you to expect the unexpected. And since Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, Taurus rules money, the food supply, farming and land, and the earth itself. So we could see financial market volatility. We could hear surprising economic news, or maybe there are changes in food or resource systems. And even in some parts of the world, there may be earthquakes or geological shifts, okay? Here's how I want you to work with the energy of this new moon. I want you to have honest conversations, and that's because Scorpio favors truth, even if it's uncomfortable truth. And remember, it's a great time to pay attention to your dreams because messages may come through symbolism. It's also a good time to cleanse your digital life, and that can mean deleting files, unsubscribing from lists, or reorganizing your finances. And please remember to engage in grounding practices. And that's because Uranian energy can make you feel a little bit electric or chaotic. And here's what I want you to avoid. If possible, don't make risky financial moves impulsively. And that's because markets may be volatile. Also, try not to suppress your emotions because with this Scorpio energy, they may just explode later. And remember not to reveal secrets, okay? Be mindful of your timing and the emotional weight of your words. For those of you who are parents, your children are definitely going to feel this energy too, especially if they are sensitive or intuitive. So, your children may feel the emotional intensity. They may have mood swings. They may be feeling secretive or withdrawn. And you can support them by offering them emotional safety and letting them know that it's okay for them to feel their big feelings. Also, parents, remember to be curious and not invasive. So, if your child is being private, we need to respect their privacy while still maintaining a sense of presence. Also, if there's unpredictability at home, reassure your child through this unpredictability and let them know that surprises are a part of life and that they are safe. And we also can expect deeper conversation. So, your children may ask spiritual or psychological questions. You want to answer calmly and honestly. And let's watch out for power struggles, okay? Let's avoid a battle of wills and guide with a sense of calm authority. So, this new moon in Scorpio at 28 degrees, it's going to be intense, yes, but deeply healing at the same time. So, this is where you shed an old layer and step into a more empowered version of yourself. And finally, on Friday, November 21st, the Sun at 29 degrees of Scorpio will be forming a powerful opposition to Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. And anytime a planet hits 29 degrees, that's what we call an anaretic degree. There could be a sense of crisis, urgency, or breakthrough, okay? And when the Sun, which represents our core identity, meets unpredictable Uranus, we get a jolt of awakening energy, and it could mean that the truth comes out suddenly about someone or a situation, or a relationship dynamic may change. You could also feel restless or rebellious with a sudden urge for freedom, or a need to tell the truth, or a desire to change direction. In regard to collective or global themes, we could see financial market volatility. We might hear unexpected economic announcements. There could be issues with the food supply or land, or there may be earthquakes or geological events. There could also be revelations involving power, secrecy, or corruption, or we could see cyber issues or tech disruptions. And here's what I want you to do during this transit. Please remember to stay flexible and be open to change. I want you to expect the unexpected. And remember to pause before reacting, and that's because Uranian energy can really spark impulsivity. So breathe before you respond. Remember to do your grounding practices, okay? Remember to sit on the earth, walk barefoot, hug a tree, and breathe deeply. And also, please remember to embrace your authenticity. Uranus wants you to be unapologetically you. And here's what I want you to avoid. Try not to make quick decisions in the heat of the moment, okay? There's a difference between liberation and freedom and being impulsive. And try not to resist change, because that's only going to increase the tension. And let's remember not to pick unnecessary fights, and that's because people can be emotionally reactive around this time. And remember not to overspend or make risky financial investments, and that's because the markets may be a little bit volatile. For those of you who are parents, your children are going to feel this energy too, especially if they are sensitive, if they are neurodivergent, or empathic. So they might experience restlessness, heightened sensitivity, sudden mood changes, or they just might feel overwhelmed. You can support them by providing extra grounding and reassurance, and that's because predictability really helps to soothe Uranian chaos. Let's keep our routine simple and stable. Even small disruptions can feel really big to children around this time. And let's remember to avoid power struggles, because this transit makes children as well as adults really want their freedom. So the Sun at 29 degrees of Scorpio opposing Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus is a moment of revelation, liberation, and awakening. This is the universe saying it's time. Wake up, break free, and step forward. Okay, guys, that's everything you need to know for this week. Just remember to stay flexible. I want you to stay aware and don't fight the shifts, okay? Work with them. You've got this. Have a fabulous week, and may the planetary forces be with you.